Delta CX, available for CX and UX consulting, projects, and training. Contact us for a free consultation.
Hi, we're live. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing okay. We are live with our podcast episode 29. I don't remember what day it is. Do you? It is Thursday, April 2nd, 2020. And today's podcast is going to be just me and some PowerPoint slides. But don't worry, people listening without seeing them, I will do my best to describe them. And we're going to talk about two new models from the Delta CX universe. And these are new, and they're so new that they're not in the book that I published in September. So I've got some more stuff to add on to that. And I'm hoping that these are models you'll be able to use at work. And today, as part of our live stream, I'm going to do some live polls. So if you're watching live, get ready with your phone or laptop. There are going to be live polls. And if there's nobody listening live, then the polls will be a little sad, but that's okay. We'll go forward with them anyway. So, I just want to remind everybody, let me flip back to my screens, that I will be checking for questions and comments in both the LinkedIn and the YouTube chat areas. But just know that since I'm going to be showing slides and speaking to them, I may not see your question for a couple of minutes as I start by introducing the models, and then I'm happy to take some questions on each of them. So I've got all of my chat room screens open, and we've got a few people in LinkedIn. Hello, thanks for joining. And a few people in YouTube. Excellent. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. deltacx.tv will take you right to our channel, and please subscribe there, and you can always ask questions in either spot. So I'm going to jump right in, and I will show you. Hello, Jennifer. I will show you the first model, oh, hold on, let me take a drink for people who can't see me drinking. It's water with this nice powdered grapefruit I have. So, grapefruity water, I suggest it. So let me see if I can get my very cool TV studio system to show you guys my slide. And it's a slide with a tiny little me in it. Oh, hold on, I have to take off some of these other pieces. I'm still playing with my TV studio software. Okay, that's better. Look, I'm down here. Okay, it's like very Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. So I want to talk to you first about my model that I call empathy, knowledge, action. We talk all the time about empathy. Have empathy, create empathy, use empathy, etc. You hear it so much it's almost lost its meaning. But in a vacuum, even where we have empathy, even where our coworkers have empathy, it's not enough. It's not enough to just feel for customers or care about customers or take the perspective of customers. It requires knowledge and action. Knowledge would be the good data that we get from real customer research, things we know versus things teams love to guess at or assume. We all know about some of the exercises where teams put sticky notes on walls and guess what customers do or think. That's not knowledge, that's guessing. And then of course there's action. And the action is, what did we do? And very often we did little or nothing. And for those who can't see the screen, I just have three interconnected circles, and they are labeled as empathy, knowledge, and action. And now let me move to the next slide where I break this down a little bit more. And so if you can't see this slide, I'm taking two interconnected circles at a time and breaking down the relationships between pairs. So that's why, without all three, empathy, knowledge, and action, we're probably not creating the best customer value or building what people really need. So let's start with the pair of empathy and action, but without knowledge. If you're lacking knowledge, then any empathy anybody claims to have were probably guesses or assumptions. Your actions were most likely a mismatch to customers' real tasks and unmet needs, since you were not grounded in proper research. Next pair is knowledge and action without empathy. Well, acting based on customers' known realities could be great. Could we do that without heartfelt care and feelings for customers' experiences? Maybe. But seeing their world through their eyes would add an important dimension to our work. And finally, the third pair, empathy and knowledge, but without action. You had good info, you had great data from CX research, you feel for the customer's pain points and needs, and then you did nothing. Or you did something that didn't fix the problem. Or you allowed a flawed product to go to market. So you can see how each of these pairs is broken in its own way. Empathy on its own isn't enough. Knowing things about customers isn't enough. And actions without either or both of empathy and knowledge is an expensive journey, possibly down the wrong path. That's going to be high risk for the businesses where we work. So feel free to share and use this model at your job. And for those watching live, which I know may just be a few people, but let's try a live poll. So go to menti.com in a browser or a phone. Put in code 940023. If you're watching or listening to this later, of course, this will not work. But if you are watching live, either on YouTube or LinkedIn, this is a little tough because LinkedIn is usually 2 minutes late and YouTube is much closer to real time, which is why I suggest more people watching YouTube. But I'll give you some time to vote on this poll, even if there's a bit of a lag. And my question is, when you think about where you work now, or maybe your most recent job, if you're between jobs, where were they weak or strong at each of these three elements? Were they good or bad with empathy, or so your team or your project, maybe even your company, however you want to think of it? So go to menti.com, put in 940023, and let me know where you think your current or previous job fell a little short or did a great job with. And I'll just hang out for a minute preparing the next slides and seeing if there's any questions. Akbar says, "How are you?" I'm fine. How are you, Akbar? I am just waiting for everybody to catch up with the live stream. And oh, good, now we've got some votes coming up. So I think LinkedIn and YouTube are finally catching up. So the people who are watching live, all five of you, have the opportunity to place some votes here. So we've got one vote, and so I'm looking over at my screen. So we've got one vote, as you can see. Someone gave their company an 8 for empathy, a 4 for knowledge, uh-oh, and a 7 for action. Someone else has voted, and the numbers moved up. So somebody is having a good experience at their current job or previous job. But either way, you can see there's always a little room for improvement. Chances are nobody would give the company they work at now or a previous company a 10 out of 10 in each of these parameters. There's usually room for improvement. Let's see if we can get one more person voting and joining in before I move on with the next slides. And also, since there's going to be a time delay here for people watching live, if you have any questions or comments about this model, please feel free to ask them in LinkedIn or YouTube chat. I'm going to be monitoring both for any comments and questions. Um, so Jennifer says she's trying to get to the site. Hopefully she got there. So I'll give it a minute to see if anybody has any questions or wants to also vote in this poll. But again, no matter what, oh, great. We've got, oh gosh, LinkedIn, you are just minutes behind me. I strongly advise people follow on YouTube. But welcome to the people who are watching. We're taking a poll right now on where your current or previous company or team might have been weak or strong in having empathy, truly feeling for customers, having knowledge, as in real CX or UX research with customers, and taking action to improve products and fix problems. So if you'd like to participate in the poll, just go to menti, menti.com. If you're listening to this not live, like maybe from iTunes or let's see, we have it on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify, or the RSS feed, please don't vote because voting is closed. But if you're watching live, we would love to get some more opinions from people and, of course, any questions or comments on this model. If there aren't going to be any more votes or we're just in kind of time lag city, then what I'll do is I'll move ahead to the to the next model that I wanted to share with you, and I just need to find that in my slides. Give me one moment. I do have a slide on this. Here it is. Okay, great. So let's shift over to this slide and let's make sure that I'm showing it. Okay, great. So we should be broadcasting my next slide. And there will be a poll after this slide too. So I hope that people will join in for that poll as well. But for now, let me introduce to you the second new Delta CX model, which I call behavior triggers. And let me tell you a little bit about behavior triggers. So, when we think about metrics and things we want to track and watch for the products that we put out there, very often people are talking about metrics like traction, adoption, conversion, how much money did someone spend, how often are they spending or shopping. These are great and you should track them, but I'd like to see some different tracking and some different data science moving in a better and more proactive direction. And to illustrate this, I'm going to tell you a little story. And because I have a little story, I'm going to flip to myself for a moment and then I'll flip back to the slide because the slide stays blank while I tell you the story. So, last year I was shopping for short weekend cruises online on a famous website for a cruise company. And I found one that I liked and it was on sale and I was happy with it and I put it in my shopping cart and then I went to check out. And what I found was that I couldn't check out. And I must have spent at least an hour trying to check out. I put in every credit card I had, and I still got this generic error message. Your checkout couldn't be completed. Well, I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong. I put in all different credit cards. This cruise line also had three options in checkout. Do I want to pay in full now? Do I want to just put a deposit down now, so a partial payment? Or do I want to put a hold on it and decide later? I tried all three of those and I still couldn't check out. So I tried these three ways. I tried multiple credit cards. I even called customer service. They couldn't honor the price that for some reason I was seeing on the website. Their computers were showing different price. So I walked away. I didn't buy the cruise. The price that the customer support rep told me was so high, so I didn't buy it. The next morning, I got a cart recovery email. That's where you get that email that says you left something in your shopping cart. Please come back and buy it. And those can be good. Those can be annoying for some people, but those can be good to try to save some sales. But I went back to the site and I still couldn't buy. The checkout still wasn't working, and I gave up. I never bought that cruise, money left on the table for that company. So now I'm going to flip back to the slides because now I'm going to point out what I'm talking about with respect to what I'm calling behavior triggers. So, I also think about what story must this cruise line tell itself when marketing or data science or UX is going through a monthly or quarterly meeting and talking about, ooh, look at some of our metrics. Now, they're probably telling stories about me that aren't even true. Debbie didn't have enough money for a cruise. Debbie changed her mind. Debbie's demographic doesn't always buy cruises on their first visit to the site. I can imagine them making up all kinds of things about me and guessing. Is anybody going to say maybe our checkout was broken? I mean, they might even say, oh, we get lots of people abandoning carts. They're just tire kickers. So I want to talk about being proactive. What if we created algorithms that proactively found customers that were having some sort of trouble on our website and we put a process in place, probably a live chat popping up if it's website or app or system, and proactively help these people just in time. So, for example, I tried to check out more than twice. But what if your system were watching for two failed checkouts in a row? One failed checkout could be anything. Could be my credit card was bad, I put in my wrong zip code. All right, give me the chance to fix it. Maybe I check out again, it fails again. What if at that point a live chat popped up and said, "Hi Debbie, because I'm logged in or because you have my name from my checkout. Hey, it looks like you're having some trouble checking out. We can see your screen on our computer system. What's going on? Let us help you. So is that creepy? No, I can always say, no, thanks, don't want to chat. I can close the window. It's not like you called me on my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, are you watching me? So imagine that we could save that sale in the moment while we still have that momentum. Because once I gave up on that cruise, I started going to competitors' websites. Now I ended up buying nobody's cruise. But hypothetically, I left your site because I met the four horsemen of bad UX, registered trademark, are in a circle, right, Jennifer? And I might have bought from a competitor. You might have really lost me. Here's another. So, again, breaking that down a little bit further, if you see a second failure, I have met the four horsemen: frustration, confusion, disappointment, and distraction. So, on that second checkout attempt where there's a second, maybe I try to put in a different card. If your system sees two failed checkouts in a row, can it intercept me? You love intercepting me to try to get me to join your mailing list, and crap I don't want. What if you intercepted me to help me, to save that sale? Could be great for the customer, could be great for the business. And if I don't want it, I exit out. Now, let's think about some other ones. What if we see our customer try to check out in Firefox, it fails, they go over to Chrome, they log into Chrome, and they check out, or we recognize from their checkout, same email address, both browsers. I'm using now a second browser. I did that too. I tried to check out from multiple browsers. That could be another trigger. So even if you see one in this session from Firefox, match it up to this session in Chrome. Again, either because I've logged in or because in the process of the checkout, I gave you the same email address and you go, oh, it's that same person we just saw. So that could be another opportunity to possibly save that sale. And then what about multiple channels? If I'm logged into the account, can you see me doing other things? Because when I tried to buy and I couldn't, I called customer service. They asked me for my account information. They went into my account. Now you know that I was on the website, didn't finish a checkout, called customer support. They couldn't finish the checkout. What can we do proactively in the moment? What can we empower that customer support rep to do for me? She was offering me a price that was almost twice what I saw on the website. Could she be empowered to give me some discount? Could she be empowered to match the price that I'm seeing on the website? So boom, this customer is now way more serious than we thought. So again, using these algorithms and watching for these behavior triggers should tell us, wait a minute, Debbie wasn't a tire kicker. Debbie has the money. Debbie's trying to buy this. Debbie's serious. Let's close this sale. So again, maybe don't call people, as that's a little bit creepy. I'm thinking now chat, and I'm thinking chat with humans. Don't pop up chat bots. Now, someone might say, I don't know, Debbie, this idea sounds expensive to build or expensive to maintain. We're going to have to create these algorithms and watch all these things and get people on live chat to be there. I say, okay, let's do some math on it. Let's imagine there are 10 or 15 people a day having trouble buying a cruise. I mean, we know hundreds of thousands of people buy cruises every year. Maybe not this year, but every year. So it's not too wild to imagine 10 or 15 a day could be having some sort of problem on your site, even if it's not the same problem I had, some sort of site problem where they just couldn't check out and they were serious about buying. Now, that was a $2,000 cruise package that I was trying to buy. And I looked it up, and mathematically speaking, a family of two, three, four buying a $2,000 cruise package and sharing a cabin represents $3,225 to the cruise line because of the extra things they're able to sell me while I'm on the ship and on the vacation. So it says 2000 on my screen, but imagine it's 3225. So it's oh, that's not 11 million. I've got a mistake on this slide. So ultimately what I found was, let's imagine 10 people per day have this problem. Disregard the slide. I've got a copy paste error. Make a note. Fix copy paste error. Um So imagine that they're leaving $3,225 on the table, maybe 10 or 15 times a day. And now imagine 260 days this happens. So maybe not every single day, maybe 260 days. That cruise line leaves $840,000 a year on the table. And it could be more if you have someone like me who wants to spread the word of, oh my God, I had this terrible experience with this cruise line online I couldn't buy. You wouldn't believe it. People love to tell negative stories. Now people go, oh, I'm not going to shop that cruise line. Their website's a mess. So you've got 840,000 a year that you're losing, and then you've got the fact that everybody is now a micro influencer, and you might go, wow, Debbie had a bad experience. I don't want to shop with those guys. Now, what would it cost to build a behavior trigger system for our cart, for our checkout, for a few of these key areas that we can identify on our site as kind of make or break moments? What if it cost us internally $500,000 to build a behavior trigger system for these? Wouldn't we then say it's worth it? Because we know we could be losing $840,000 a year on this, so it could be worth it to invest, even if it's $100,000 project, $500,000 project. It's going to pay off month after month in the sales that you should be able to save. You won't save 100% of them, but you'll save more of them, and that will ripple out. What if that rippled out? Hey, I was trying to buy on this site and the checkout failed twice, and all of a sudden this chat popped up, called me by name, and said, we can see you're trying to buy a $2,000 cruise package. Let's help you make that purchase today. Wow, that was amazing customer service. I'm going to tell all my friends. So we have to move past the era of a single metric and start combining these with customer actions to make more sense of behaviors and problems. And we have to be more proactive about this. We can't wait until we're looking at last quarter's numbers or last month's numbers. Those are sales we lost. So we have to build something that is more just in time and in the moment. Without this, you're working from assumptions and guesses about cart abandonment, and that can lead to increased business risk and missing out on sales. And for people who couldn't see the slide, it was just the words that I was saying. You didn't miss anything, especially since there was a mistake. So remember, we'll need a lot of collaborators on a project like this. The UX is going to have to work with, of course, product, project, and engineering. We'll probably have to work with marketing and sales, especially sales, to know where people tend to drop off or fall apart. And data scientists. I want data scientists on CX and UX teams. I call for that in my book, and I want to see that in general. So now I've got a poll for everybody. Let's go back to our polling system, menti.com 940023. And this is an open-ended thing that you can type, and this is thinking about the behavior triggers model that I just showed you. What do you think are some behavior triggers that could work at your current company or maybe your previous job if you happen to be between jobs right now? And while you guys are answering that, I will sneak back to the chat rooms to see if people have any questions. Oh, good. Oz is here, and he says errors with no guidance or explanations. And he says he likes the behavior triggers idea because something is checking to see if someone's having a problem. Yeah, that's really the whole idea behind it. We can't certainly put humans on checking for people to have problems, but we could certainly have bots, algorithms, something that is checking for things that we might say, oh, Oz, he's just a tire kicker. He didn't really mean to buy that thing. Oh, yeah, he did. Maybe today he was a tire kicker, maybe tomorrow he's not, but we could save these sales. And these could be sales, these could be free trials. So think about, answer the poll. Think about your job, your business, your previous job. What are some triggers your company or team or project could have set up that might have helped save people from some ugliness? And after we see people giving some answers, I'll show you some answers that I got when I gave the full length talk of this couple of days ago. People had some great ideas. I want to share them with you guys. But first, let's see if anybody's going to fill out this poll and share some ideas here. Taking a drink. And of course, I'm happy to take questions and comments on either or both of these models. These are probably new to you. As far as I can tell, I've made them up, so I've given them my own names, and just want to see what you guys think of them and how you might use them at your work, and see if you have any questions about it. And let's see, there's still no poll answers, so I don't know if it's just the lag. I know LinkedIn lags a good 2 minutes. It could also possibly be people don't want to take the poll. That's also fine. Poll is optional. We've got 3 people watching live in YouTube, and we've got a couple of people were in LinkedIn, but LinkedIn blips in and out, I find. So I really suggest people join me in YouTube. Let's see if anybody's in LinkedIn right now, but we got some people in YouTube. So see if nobody answers the poll. Oh, we got one. All right. Errors in payment, abandoned carts or forms. That's another great point. What if people start to fill out a form and then stop filling out the form? We could even use that with time. Now, of course, people who have temporary or permanent disabilities might be slower in filling out a form, and that's okay. We don't want to make them feel rushed. But yes, if somebody is seems to be abandoning an important form, that's a great trigger we could try. We'd have to tweak that a little bit, but that's part of the project. Uninstalling or unsubscribing within the first hour of installing or subscribing. I love that one. Yeah, thanks to whoever added that. That's really super because I have to tell you, yesterday I was trying a whole bunch of video conferencing systems that compete against Zoom because I'm a little unhappy with Zoom right now, and you might be too. And I installed a bunch of them. I tried them. Within 15 minutes, we knew they were junk because I had my boyfriend, sign on from the bedroom, and either his video was poor or his audio was poor. And then I wanted to go back to the site and cancel these trials, but I couldn't even find a place to cancel it. Now, if you had that, if I had canceled the trial or delete my account, then yes, we would know that people are trying to cancel and we could try to save that. I had that happen a couple of weeks ago. I was trying out a UX tool and it clearly was not going to fit my needs and it was wildly expensive. And within a few hours of signing up for it, I did delete my account. And I got an auto email that was like, hey, why did you cancel your account? Is there anything we can help you with? And I said, well, yeah, actually, here's the problem that I was having. And I went into detail on it, and I never heard from them again. So I never heard, did I make a mistake, or was there something I didn't know I was supposed to do? Or, yeah, their system actually doesn't do that. And then, like, the CEO sent me an email a few days later, like, how are you enjoying your trial? And I'm like, thing one, I deleted my account. Thing two, I told you how I felt about the trial, and nobody wrote me back. And she wrote back and she was like, oh, well, we're on a skeleton crew right now, so, we don't have a lot of people available. And I was just like, blah, 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 do not care. So that was the end of those people. Oz says, I want a setting that tells a site not to contact me about an abandoned cart. And I've heard Oz talk about this before, so I know that this is important to him. He says, I've never forgotten items in a cart. I've left for my own reasons. Maybe I thought the shipping charges were crazy. Yeah, shipping charges very often are pretty wild. So I agree with Oz. If we can get people to stop putting us on their mailing lists just because we tried their stuff or we started checking out, and if we can get people to not follow up later with these cart abandonment things, that would be great. Great for the customer, not great for the business, but I do believe we should do more of what the customer wants. Now, since we didn't get a gigantic response to the poll, I'm going to see if I can open up the responses that I got when I did this yesterday and share them on my screen. And let's see if I can find where those went. Give me a moment. I forgot to open this up ahead of time, which makes me very silly, unprepared. Okay, here comes, and I will share out the screen. Okay, behavior triggers. Okay, let me get that screen shared over. in my TV universe. Here we go. So here's some ones that we got 9 people responding when I gave the longer version of this, which is it's part of my Stop Evangelizing UX and What to Do Instead talk, which runs an hour or longer. And I'm also working on the Delta CX workshop, which is the more than a day long version. It's an interactive workshop version of my book. So for people who don't like to read books and want a fun interactive workshop version, I'm working on it. So here's some ones that people said yesterday, and I'm curious what you guys think of these. What if you skip a question in an important onboarding process? What if there's a connection error? What if we notice that your internet went down or you're blipping? I wish navigators would try to recalculate my route and mark the spot as a problem area when I start yelling and cursing at my phone. So that's a little driving navigation stuff. Someone said we see people often call customer service because they can't find how to reset their passwords. We could help them proactively when we see them fail. Sure, how many times have you tried to reset a password and you got blocked in some way there because you didn't get that text message or you didn't get that email with the link? We've got amount of product seen without logging in a profile. So it sounds like someone doesn't log in or check out, but they're bouncing around to a lot of different products. That could indicate that someone is comparison shopping or confused, and maybe we reach out to them. Problems with logging into the platform. Okay, that's similar to the other one. General inactivity on key funnel pages. So again, if you're thinking about the process on your website as a funnel where you're trying to get people through a process, then if there is sudden inactivity, and again, there could be a good reason for inactivity, they got up and went to the bathroom. But if there is some other reason for inactivity, we could be proactive with that. The next one wasn't really totally relevant, so I'm going to skip it. And did we get more? No, that was all that we got. So those were super and helpful and hopefully giving you some ideas for your particular job or work environment. So again, feel free to ask any questions or make any comments because this is live and there's a few of you watching right now. Thank you for that. Don't forget to subscribe at deltacx.tv, which will take you to the YouTube channel. And don't forget the Delta CX book, which sadly does not have these models because they're too new. And you know, a book is not exactly a living thing. You got to publish it and then it's out there and you can't keep changing it. I could change it, but then the people who bought it last week would be mad. So I'm augmenting it with all of my podcasts and articles. So that's some other thoughts on some new things that we can use in our jobs, hopefully bringing other cross-functional teammates in to explain these things to them, especially where we're hearing just have empathy for the customer. Well, hold on. We need to have more than empathy. We need to have good knowledge and we need to take action. And maybe some of that fresh action can be these behavior triggers, can be these algorithms that will watch for people making mistakes that end up as crappy metrics later. Then later on, we're all going, "Oh, look at all these people who abandoned the cart. Look at all these people who didn't convert. They came to the site, they didn't buy, things like that." You know, we look at all of those metrics, but we look at them Monday morning quarterback. We look at them so much later and we don't capture people in the moment. So that's something that I am usually on fire about. It's something I've tried on some of my own websites. I experiment with it. But what do you guys think? So we're not getting too many comments today, but what do you guys think? I'm curious to get any other comments or questions. If there aren't any more, I can certainly wind down a little bit early. We don't have to go the full hour. We've been going a half hour, but let me leave it open for a few more minutes because I can see that LinkedIn is a good 3 minutes behind where I am speaking live. I know that YouTube is usually about 20 seconds behind where I'm speaking live, so we're a little bit more synchronous, but LinkedIn is way back there. So let me know, you guys. Let's take a couple of minutes. Do you have any questions or comments on this idea? And how are you? I'm going to take another drink while I see if anybody's got any comments or questions on these models. And of course, room for improvement. The models are still a living thing. Anything about the models you think could be improved, something that could be more relevant to your work. I'm always curious to hear that. And thanks to the people who gave me thumbs up like in YouTube. Thank you. So if we don't have too many comments or questions today, let me open up our calendar and let's talk about what's coming up next in the Delta CX live stream universe, because we've got lots of stuff going on. If you caught my LinkedIn post, and if you didn't, go into my profile and go into posts and activity. I posted earlier that tomorrow I'm going to be holding snack time. This is really just social, but it does require you to sign up. So if you'd like to have snack time with me, it is free. Um, I'll take questions. Otherwise, let's just be friendly and social and see some human faces. That will be tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. California time. And again, find my LinkedIn post, and you'll need to sign up for that. Or actually, let me get the link for that, and I'll post it in all the chat rooms while I'm telling you what else is going on. So let's see, Ticket Spice. I always write Ticket Space, and it's Ticket Spice. So let me find that for you guys, and let's talk about what else we have coming up. We've got certainly more podcasts coming up. Let's check the calendar. And you can always find the calendar at deltacx.com and then look under events, books, and media and go to live stream podcasts. And not only does that have all of the places where you can find the archives, but it also has a Google Calendar of everything that I have scheduled. So don't forget to check it out. So I'm still trying to find this link for you. I'm sorry, I'm a little unprepared today. Here we go. I will add this to both chat rooms right now. And I see Oz has a question, so let me just post these links for how to join me for snack time, since it does require signing up. Okay, let's check Oz's question before I get back to what other cool podcasts are coming up. So Oz says, you suggest various ways to intercept the user in order to help, but how do you balance helping and not annoying the user? Meaning, I don't want a whole lot of boxes that ask if I'm lost, if I'm having payment problems, if I found what I'm looking for. Oz is totally right. And that's why the key to this is going to be a good UX process of testing and iteration. You're going to have to come up with your initial hypothesis, which is, if we see someone trying to check out, say, twice or three times and they're still failing and getting an error and the checkout isn't complete, let's have a little chat bubble come up on the bottom right, kind of out of the way, hey, looks like checkout's giving you some problems. We'd like to help. Now, you could X that out, or you could respond to that person. I definitely don't want to see lots of full screen pop-ups. Remember, to me, there's intercepting people and there's interrupting people. To me, those like full screen pop-ups with join our mailing list or download our white paper, I pretty much hate those pretty much all the time. And that is very interruptive. It blocks your screen so much that you can't do anything but react to that pop-up. And so you have to exit out or deal with it. I'm thinking more like, what if there were a little chat thing that comes up, as you see on many sites now, that you get to a site and a little chat thing says like, hey, can we help you? Or, hey, we updated our software recently. Want to learn what changed? And those are intercepting. They are trying to stop you and maybe take you in a certain direction, but I don't think of them as totally interruptive because they didn't stop me from doing whatever my task was. If I still want to go to the pricing page, if I want to look something up in the help file, and that little window is still on the bottom right asking me if I want to chat with someone, it's not totally in my way. I could exit out, but even if I didn't exit out, it's not taking up a significant portion of my screen, and it's not blocking me from achieving my task. And also, Oz is right. We have to think about this in moderation. We can't pop up something for someone because we saw two failed card attempts, and then pop up for something for someone because we saw them use two different credit cards, and pop up something for someone because we saw them retype their email address. We're going to have to pick the first one and ask if they need help, and if they X that out or don't respond, stop there. So this is not a constant flood of, hey, do you need, that was Clippy. Who remembers Microsoft Office Clippy? I see you are writing a letter. They had the paper clip and they had the little dog and whatever it was, and everyone thought that was really annoying. Why? Because it seemed to interrupt what you were doing to ask you for help you might not have needed. So that's why whatever we do, it can't be a full screen pop up or a most screen pop up. It can't be Microsoft Office Clippy, who's interrupting you typing to say, I see you are writing a letter. Thank you. Oz remembers Clippy. By the way, look up on YouTube, Clippy Gets Fired. When Microsoft got rid of Clippy, they did these hilarious Flash animation cartoons, Flash, of Clippy getting fired. My favorite is when he goes drinking and he does this with the beer and it goes through the paperclip. We don't want to be Clippy. We don't want to be join our newsletter. We don't want to be download our white paper. So again, this is just going to be a process of testing and iteration to find the right balance between trying to help people in the moment with just-in-time assistance and personalized help versus other crap. And we're just going to have to test it. We're going to have to see how we do it. Now, I do something like this now on my websites with Olark, which is my chat app, my live chat app. Not sponsored. I pay them. They don't pay me. Olark has plenty of competition like Drift and Intercom. I don't pay them and they don't pay me. But Olark is less expensive and I'm pretty happy with it. And Olark lets me set up some triggers. And so I have a few triggers set up and I'm not sure if they've ever super worked, but I do like to use them. And in fact, I should log into my live chat now in case anybody goes to the Delta CX website and decides to test drive this and open up a live chat with me. I don't think I have any triggers on the Delta CX website right now. I think I have them on my P-type website. So if you go to my P-type website, which is pty.pe. I know it's a weird domain. It is the country of Peru. I'm not in Peru, but it was the shortest domain that says P-type, which is short for prototype. So I have Olark set where if you are on my page and you basically stop doing anything, I think for 1, 2, or 3 minutes. I don't remember. I don't have my triggers in front of me right now. But if you stop doing something and you're idle for a minute or two, just a little thing should come up that says like, Debbie's online and is available to help if you have any questions. And you can ignore it, you can exit out, or you can start a chat with me. I have a couple of other triggers that I've set on the site. But they also have like negative triggers. So like if someone has seen the chat pop up this time that they're visiting the site, don't show it to them again, no matter what other triggers they set off. So these are some of my inspirations for my model. It's been my own experiences and some nice software like that lets you set up some of these things. But even so, the Olark triggers don't go as far as I'm suggesting that we go with our system because Olark can count the number of seconds you were idle or see if you went to this page and then this page and then pop up a chat thinking that you're in a process and we want to help you along, but it's not going to see if your credit card failed twice. So I want to see us go a little bit further with these things. So we've been going 42 minutes. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Again, I see LinkedIn blipping in and out, and I see the YouTube stream looks pretty good. So I'm going to suggest that people please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Delta CX. It is not monetized. There are no ads. There are no sponsors. I just run a little ad for my own company because I want you to make sure you know about it. Otherwise, all of this content is free with no obligations or ads. So please subscribe on YouTube. Again, it's not monetized and it's not going to bug you. So if there aren't any other questions or comments, I'll give you a little bit more programming notes and wind down. Next week, we've got office hours on Tuesday at 6:15 p.m. Italy time, as I do every Tuesday. So it's office hours. Ask me anything. You can come and ask anything you like. On Wednesday, the 8th, I am going to do a podcast about a little known invention called Pal Mickey. And Pal Mickey was something Disney World invented, and he was available for years, and then he was discontinued. But it's very important to know about Pal Mickey because there is a very famous speaker who tells you a story about Disney World around the time that Pal Mickey was being invented and released to the public. And he doesn't tell you about Pal Mickey, and then he tells you Disney was in the UX dark ages, and he makes you laugh at how bad they did other things. And I think that's unfair and crappy. So I want you to know about Pal Mickey. And I think if you don't know about Pal Mickey, you're going to be really surprised and delighted to hear what Disney invested a huge amount of money to invent to make things better for people visiting their parks, especially for the first time. So that's going to be Wednesday. Those podcasts are usually 6 p.m. Italy time. Check your time zones. So, on that note, it looks like there aren't too many questions or comments. So, I will wind down and close down the stream for today, trying out my new ending video that I made. Hopefully, it plays in full this time before the stream stops. Everybody, have a great and safe day. Remember to please tip the people bringing you deliveries and donate and do what you can for all of the medical workers out there. Listen to orders, stay home, stay safe, and stay away from people. It's just the best we can do right now. So, with that, I will say thank you and catch you all hopefully soon on another adventure.
Thanks for watching. Delta CX is available for consulting and projects related to CX and UX strategy, leadership, training, problem finding, problem solving, and innovation. Learn more at deltacx.com.